Hello everyone! Blue Star Saber here once again to do another One Piece chapter review. Chapter 1126, Settling the Score. Egghead Island has now finally been concluded, and as we saw with the Straw Hats, we're pretty much heading to Elbaf. The long-awaited arc is finally here. And boy, the last chapter ended with quite a bit of the ending, with the fact that Saint Figan Garland has now replaced Saint Saturn as one of the five elders. Emu doing one of the most brutal deaths, as well as Dragon now declaring he's about to make his move. Pretty much, hyping up the following arcs and the long-term plots of One Piece. And now that's all that set up. We now finally get to Elbaf. Let's see, how will the Straw Hats get there? Let's see, will they meet that mysterious figure first, or will there be some sort of hindrance that gets in their way? But for the time being, let's see, before we get into that, I might as well do with the Yamato cover story, where Ogre Child Yamato's Golden Harvest Circuit Pilgrimage, Volume 14. The girls from the soba shop in Kuri have gone missing. Let's see where this Kuri girl has opened up a soba shop, is just telling Yamato, who is eating soba right now, about how there's a bunch of girls missing. It's an okay little setup. Granted, I think some people thought that might have been the same girl that Sanji saved, but she was in the capital early in this cover story, so I don't think that's the case. And I think the mouse was with her then, so it's not her. Arguably, this is more setting up, I think, more of the kidnap storyline that is going to be taking place with Yamato for the time being, with these couple of cover stories. My best guess is that, let's see, this will be one of the villains for Wano. Let's see, one of the villains that was in the Wano arc. Who it is, I'm still not sure. But I'm pretty certain these girls and that missing carpenter have also been kidnapped. So, yeah, but we'll probably see Yamato making a move soon based on this cover. But yeah, it's not the most exciting, but it is fun if you want to see Yamato eating soba. Anyway, the chapter begins with Omi and Kashi explaining how they got Doggy and Brogy about how after the events of Water 7, they wanted to catch a glimpse of their captain, so they headed to Little Garden. With Luffy going like, oh, you did? Makes sense. You'd be curious since it's been 100 years. And when they showed up, they saw them still going at it, but their weapons were busted, and they were doing it with their bare fists, which they had the giants laughing. You get one of the Straw Hats asking why. Let's see, with them just saying, oh, weapons bust, not really telling them that due to helping them escape from that giant fish, their weapons got destroyed as a result, but they have no regrets. But I guess they decided not to burden the Straw Hats with that, since they didn't want to make them feel guilty or something. But anyway, let's see, with Kashi then saying how there's no way our captains would be taken out with just bare fists. So let's see. So they're saying that they with one of them going like, Dap, not sure, don't. And the only way to finish a proper duel is death. So they're going on about how, since they can't kill each other with fists, they had to put a stop to the fight and make their way back to Elbaf together to get new weapons. As you see pretty much the giants all having their feast and eating, while you have pretty much the Straw Hats, particularly Luffy, eating up the giant pieces of meat. And you get Nami saying to get new weapons, but you keep on saying, wait, are you going to keep on fighting after all this? With let's see, Doggy and Brogy saying, of course. And Nami's going like, unbelievable, drinking her beer, going like, okay, that's it, I'm done, kind of thing. But Usopp gets defensive, saying, come on, Nami, when did you learn nothing about our experience in Little Garden? And Usopp's going like, yeah, you tell her, Usopp, if you will. And Sanji is commenting about how strong the alcohol is, while a giant with a sort of little small black mustache. Wouldn't really say it the evil twirly one because it isn't twirly. But let's see, he goes like saying it's called absence, absensive. I might have pronounced it wrong. Sorry. Absinthe. This spirit is known as the Green Fairy. So they can make you hallucinate. So warns them to watch out for drinking too much of it. But you pretty much got like Zoro, Frankie, Zoro drinking it. I think Frankie, I thought might have been drinking it, but he's actually eating a piece of meat. But yeah, either way. But you pretty much got like the most of Straw Hats just watching these giants. Then you see a bit of montage of Luffy carrying a giant drumstick, Robin just smiling in the background with Lilith there, a giant there, Brock playing his guitar. Let's see Usopp and Sanji sort of celebrating, Jinbei laughing, another giant is laughing. This like ponytail one with a mustache is just laughing in the background where Frankie's doing his super with Chopper. Let's see, following in, Zoro laughing, and I think even Nami's laughing too, which is weird. And then you got this touching moment with Bonnie saying how they finally got the chance to see it together. The horizon at the sea as she's on Kuma's lap, and you have him smiling, and she's just laughing as well. So it's like a touching moment as we get a long glimpse of like the giant pirate ship. Okay, my thoughts on this bit here. Okay, so we get a bit of an explanation about. We finally get a bit of an explanation about, okay, how are Doggy and Broggy in Elbaf when they've been still dueling at Little Garden. And it turns out, let's see, Omi and Kashi did eventually ended up going to go to Little Garden and to go and check on their captains. Granted, I've seen some people say that there seems to be a bit of a contradiction of them deciding, you know what, we're gonna head back to Elbaf and wait for our captains. But I suppose that's why Oda tried to say, oh, we just got a little curious and decided to head back, which I think arguably makes sense for these two. Would make sense. It's like, okay, you know what, maybe we should actually go to Little Garden, not just wait. But yeah, I do like how they bring up the fact that their weapons were broken, but the giants, of course, don't really mention it too much. The Straw Hats not giving the details that they broke their weapons to save them from the giant fish that was about to eat them. So there's that. But I do like how we do actually end up learning that, despite the fact that some people were theorizing, oh, since they saw that Luffy was the sun god, they decided to stop fighting. But no, they're still fighting. They just came to get weapons, and then they're still going to fight each other to the death. Now, granted, does that mean they're going to go back to Little Garden and do this fight? Or if they're going to do their duel in Elbaf, which, you know what, I'll be very curious about, because if it's in Elbaf, that probably means that you get all the giants. Let's see, that means they get to interact with all the giants while still continuing their 100-year-long duel. But at the same time, that probably also means you're going to get some spectators. So it would be very interesting to see who ends up winning this duel to the death. Though, granted, I do wonder if they ended up remembering, or at least their crewmates remember that they ended up fighting over who caught the bigger giant Sea King. which would be very funny to see how the Straw Hats react. I can definitely see Nami reacting negatively to something as petty as that, thinking they're as dumb as Zoro and Sanji. But yeah. Well, granted, I do like how Nami is pretty much like not really buying into this whole warrior thing. It's like, unbelievable. This is stupid. I'm done with this. It's like, you guys never learn. It just goes back to a drink, because it's like, all right, wait. It's like, there's really no point in you doing the 100-year duel thing. And it's like, let's see, but it's like, nope, it's the Elbaf Pride. We gotta continue our duel to the death. But I do like how, since Usopp and Luffy are just very in chance with the Elbaf ways, are like scolding Nami. It's like, how dare you, Nami? Particularly, well, more like Usopp, who's really committed. And Luffy's going like, you tell her, Usopp. I love that bit. I do love how you got Sanji asking about the taste of the liquor since he's the chef. And it seems like this green fairy liquor is to be set up as a plot point for later chapter, which I already know what it's going to be done for. But let's see. I do like how it's going to be used to explain where the Straw Hats end up where they do later down the line to this chapter. Other than that, I do like the panels of the Straw Hats celebrating with like their groups. But the really touching moment is Bonnie and Kuma, where she's like, let's see, spending time with her father, let's see, they actually get to see a horizon together because that's what she wanted to do when she was younger, well, younger-ish, I guess, and trapped inside the church where she just wanted to go out and adventure with her father. Now she finally gets to do, which arguably it's nice that you seem to got some humanity left in Kuma smiling. Granted, I still think in the end Kuma should probably bite the dust, though granted, and not really gain his memories back, as I think that would be more tragic and impactful. Though, let's see, there's possibly two options what was going this. It's possible that Kuma, let's see, and Bonnie join the Straw Hats, with Kuma being a ship guard and protecting Bonnie, or the fact that Oda is just not quite ready to have Kuma die yet and wait for more of the sacrifice after let's see, happening at some point in Elbaf, where probably get Bonnie finally actually joining the Straw Hat crew at the very least. But yeah, now granted, if that ends up being the case, I wouldn't mind if Kuma regains his conscience just a bit, just to see Bonnie one last time before dying. Sort of how in Star Wars Rebels you had Kanan, spoilers, where Kanan Jarrus ends up sacrificing himself to save the Ghost Crew, and he gains his sight again for the last time before dying, seeing his, lover and apprentice. Anyway, we cut to like a little narration about a month earlier, where we see at the island of Gartel in the New World, when incident occurs, and it's none other than the territory of Redhead Shanks, where the pirate known as Bartolomeo, the man-eater, burnt his flag, and it delivered a blow to their honor, showing like what happened in the cover story. Shocking. Quite a lot of resonance there. And it seems now we've cut to like Shanks, who said that they need to deal with this Bartolomeo situation. Let's see, as we got teased about in one, and it seems like not only have they done that, but they seem to have managed to beat the living snotlight of Bartolomeo and got him tied up or handcuffed, pretty much, as his crew is begging the redhead pirates for mercy. With Shanks saying, "If I allow you to get away with this, then all the other islands and pirates whom he has given the flag to would lose their faith they've put into it, and his friends will be subject to danger." With Bartolomeo saying, "You're right about that," as he's starting to apologize. As you see, he's got a lump on his head, saying sorry for what he's done, saying he wasn't really thinking about words when he did this, and he was being stupid and ignorant thing. You've got the spectators from the cover story just looking on silently, just seeing how Shanks is handling the situation. You got the close-up of Shanks' face, but his eyes are blanked. Let's see, in dark. And then I believe this is let's see, I really do not, I really do not let's see, one of the doctor of the Redhead Pirates, hold on a second, I've accidentally turned on my TV. Did not intend to do that. Oh, well, that's a close one. Thought I spilled my drink there. Sorry, I'm being very unprofessional right now. I guess it's what happens when you do a live stream in your living room. All right, there we go. Wait. Let's see. I believe this member of the Redhead Pirates is I believe is it Hongo? Yeah, let me just check. Hongo. Yeah, it's Hongo. Yeah, it's Hongo. Sorry, my bad there. Anyway, what was I? Oh, yes, Hongo. Hongo gives Bartolomeo a bottle of deadly poison and telling him that he needs to go and give it to Luffy within the next month, which is shocking Bartolomeo, and saying that, as he explains, it causes excruciating pain, massive hemorrhage, and ultimately death, saying your boss has to pay for your crimes, as Bartolomeo's, I believe, first mate Gambia is saying, let's see, why would Mr. Luffy have to do that? But Bartolomeo instead just snatches it with his teeth and drinks it for himself, shocking his crew, telling him not to drink it, it'll kill you, saying you're going to split up blood and die, as you got Shanks and Ben Beckman, as well as the other redhead pirates, just looking up, and she's just saying, I'm okay with that. Going on about how Luffy didn't give us no permission for the ritual cups. They drank from and used the flag they have, and saying it ain't got nothing to do with him, so please don't tell him I did this. Saying he doesn't want him to waste a single precious second of his time on the likes of him, and that this is just one of those things that happens to a common thug that stands up to an emperor and gets slaughtered for nothing more, nothing left, tearfully crying about how he's just willingly sacrificing himself for Luffy. And this says that his only regret is that he could have seen Luffy become the king of the pirates, and just saying how he really screwed up, damning it all. Telling his crew that you gotta carry on after he's gone, with his crew crying tears of his witty words of encouragement. As he thinks to himself, farewell, his friends, but he just burps, not dying, confused, and then the bottle cover simply pelts out there of their ship, saying, let's see the going Luffy saying, whoa, they let us go. Go, get us out of here. Let's see. With I believe Bartolomeo's right hand Gambia going like, so if that wasn't poison, then he wasn't really trying to kill Mr. Luffy after all, wasn't he? With Bartolomeo going like, I thought an Emperor of the Sea would be more bloodthirsty. Guess he's a bigger softy than he realized, seemingly laughing about that whole situation. And then you get, let's see, Ben Beckman looking at Shanks, wondering what he's smirking for, with Shanks saying, I mean, it feel good to know how much they care for Luffy. But Yasop gets in and says, all right, step aside, Captain. Every action has a price to play. As he prepares his gun, shoots and seemingly explodes, let's see, Bartolomeo's ship to pieces. As narration goes, the Bartolomeo pirate ship sinks in the waters of Gartel Island, and their status is unknown as you see the mast crawling and burning into the sea. Okay, now for my thoughts on this part of the chapter. Well, let's see. I do like how let's see. We're finally you got a little narration reminding us what's happened with like Bartolomeo. Let's see, as if you didn't pay attention to the cover story, it gives you an idea of like, this is what happened, as well as reminding what Shanks did, what Shanks said they needed to do. Let's see about this cover story, and also setting up the fact that Shanks did say they needed to teach Bartolomeo a lesson, and it seems they finally did it. And not to mention, it seems they managed to beat Bartolomeo, a pope, which is a shame that it's done off screen, because I would have liked to seen how they managed to beat Bartolomeo, given the fact that he has his barrier no me devil fruit. So it's like, which that, as we've seen, is that devil fruit's quite strong, that prevented Odin from killing Orochi. So it means that, okay, wait, did we get to see Shanks break that barrier? But clearly we're never going to know about that. But either way, it's pretty much impressive either way. But either way, it should be no surprise that Shanks has managed to beat the living daylights of Bartolomeo, and he seems to have delivered on his promise to like beat up Bartolomeo, with him going like saying, you attacked my turf, I gotta make an example of you, otherwise all the islands under and crews under my protection will lose faith and will be in danger from others if I let this slide. I do like how Bartolomeo pretty much acknowledges that he messed completely up with this, and just telling them that just forgive him, and it's like he won't do this again. I do like how the crowd is seemingly watching in silence of what Bartolomeo does. But it's interesting that we end up seeing Hongo, let's see, being the ship's doctor, seemingly also being a bit of a poison expert, or at least implied. Though granted, he was faking it at the very least, but who knows? That might be an interesting way of possibly giving hints on like his abilities of creating maybe poisons, and that might lead to something like a matchup between Chopper, since he's dealt with a lot of poison guys recently, particularly like Queen and I guess Caesar Clown. So who knows? Will be interesting to see if Chopper ends up fighting Honga. Though it could be also possible that Chopper also fights Monkey, like Shanks's monkey. But yeah, but it's interesting that they do this little poison test of a die next month, and you have to give it to Luffy. If I had to guess, either Shanks was either testing Bartolomeo's loyalty to see what he would do with it, or it was like in a way to save face and not cause a bit of conflict, have Bartolomeo take the poison and just say, "Oh, make Luffy drink this." But turns out, let's see, that was just a way of just saying, and Bartolomeo give it to Luffy, he drinks it, but not get poisoned, and they just have the excuse, okay, since he's an emperor, he managed to survive the poison, so it's like, he did some retaliation, but it just turns out Luffy was stronger. But instead, it seems like, much to everyone's shock, Bartolomeo drinks it and is willing to sacrifice it, saying, "Not I'm gonna," and it just got like the ultimate fanboy dedication, which pretty much is Bartolomeo saying that he doesn't want to waste Luffy's time. He'd rather sacrifice himself and just get himself be punished for being a fool that messes with a Yonko, and that let's see, Luffy should continue his career at being the Pirate King, as he never really asked for him to be a subordinate and all that. But it's up to his own choice, and he's making his own choice to pay for his own mistakes, even though he will regret not seeing Luffy become the Pirate King. But of course, it wasn't actually poison, and they end up, of course, escaping, which they will admit they pelted it quite quickly there. But granted, I think Bartolomeo and his crew got a bit too carefree and thinking, Shanks is too much of a softie, when that clearly ends up not being the case. But I do like how Shanks is just happy that Luffy's got such loyal subordinates. And it's just like probably just being impressed just how far Luffy has come. But granted, Yasop being a bit ruthless here, saying, "You know what, Captain, we still got to set an example." But perhaps maybe Shanks was expecting this. But and to show an impressive feat of Yasop is that his own gun managed to destroy an entire pirate ship. It's like, arguably, Yasop might just be arguably the best sniper in the world right now, or best marksman. So yeah, it is quite actually a bit impressive that we get to see him sink a ship. It's like, we are starting to finally get some feats of like the Redhead Pirates crew. We saw Shanks just take out Kid in one swoop. Also, I guess Killer with the Inca, it's like with Roger's attack against Odin and later Whitebeard, and then of course now we actually get to see Yasop and just how skilled of a marksman he is. Which makes me curious to see how Usopp will top this, but it's probably going to be more interesting to see how Yasop will handle the fact that the son he abandoned has finally met up with him. But anyway, Bartolomeo's ship is being destroyed. The status of his crew is unknown. In many ways, he's in a similar matter to like his rookies in like the worst generation. He has also been taken out, and his status is unknown. Granted, I do think Bartolomeo will survive and will come back. But let's see, when that happens, who knows? Possibly he might be captured by the Redhead Pirates, but who knows? But interesting the fact that his ship has been sunk. This probably means that due to Bartolomeo's foolish actions and all that, this probably means, and now the Redhead Pirates retaliating, it probably means this is going to be the setup for like which I think many people suspected when Shanks mentions about dealing with Bartolomeo and Wano, that the thing that causes a conflict between Shanks and Luffy is the fact that Bartolomeo causes an incident, Shanks retaliates, and the fact that he took one of Luffy's men down, Luffy has to go and avenge him because, well, you at the very least needs to teach Shanks a lesson, because it's like, hey, you're attacking one of my friends, and this is technically the lesson you taught me. So arguably, this will probably cause a bit of a conflict between Luffy and Shanks. Granted, it won't probably be hostile as Luffy's encounters with like the other Yonko, but it's still nevertheless what set up this fight between Shanks and Luffy. Now, who ends up winning and who ends up losing, who knows? It could possibly be a Davy Black fight, though I think Luffy will ultimately win in the end because he needs to surpass his mentor. But at the very least, you're probably going to like the setup for the Redhead Pirates versus Straw Hats is about to begin. Anyway, the next part of the chapter is we cut to the Blackbeards on the Pirate Island Fuled or Hachinosu, where you get where you see Hachinosu, where you see the giant skull being bandaged up, and someone shouting, "What the hell happened here?" Which I assume, which is Blackbeard, because he says, "Well, I was away, you Pizarro," but you got Pizarro trying to explain, going like, "I mean, I know it looks bad, but," and then you get Blackbeard grabbing Pizarro's stone face, where not the giant skull one, is like the one where he merges to the land, and it's just grabbing him by the mustache, his twirling evil mustache, and goes like, "Let's see, you heard about how the whole world is about to get in on the act, didn't ya? The Poneglyphs ain't just the knowledge of the underworld anymore. The 4 emperors are about to have a full-scale scramble for the stones. Even the government and navy are getting involved. You can't win if you don't take them seriously. And the key piece to it all that is Kobe and saying, 'How did you let him get away?'" With him going like, "I'm sorry, Teach, I'm sorry. Give me a minute, I'll tell you the story. So the first things first, we also let let's see." Going like, "Okay, so first things first, we also let Mori get away. So Mori has escaped, which you got, I believe, hold on, let me just check which member of the Blackbeard Pirates this one is. I believe it's Sunjin Wolf. While Blackbeard's having his conversation, you see him trying to put back the buildings together, where he's going like, "Where's this store go again?" Let's see, as one of the members is saying, "More to the left," but another says, your butt has broken another building," as it's like, it's kind of funny, him trying to repair, but he ends up destroying another building instead. And while this is going on, let's see, Blackbeard responds to Pizarro going like, "You let Moria get away too?" And then you get a bunch of random Blackbeard pirates underlings going, "Commodore, we're ready to go at a moment's notice. We know you'll be the man who claims the One Piece, Blackbeard. Let's see, conquer the world for us." All of them cheering their swords held up high, some of them jumping for joy. Parrots in the air, screeching, but yeah, they're all excited as I think you see Pizarro's Skull Island looking down. As we get a double page sprint going like, let's see, Blackbeard just laughing about, "You hear that? The morale's sky high out there. We got to take advantage of that." So he then asks Kuzan to just repeat what happened, saying, "You let Kobe get away, but," he says, "but we caught Garp instead." And he just laughs, saying, "That's amazing." Saying it, "Yeah," as Pizarro goes, "Yeah, see, Teach, it's an upgrade in the end." As you've got pretty much the Blackbeard pirates listening. Sure of the Rain, I believe, what's his name? I forgot the drunk's name. Let's see, Vasco Shot, listening in along with, hold on, let's see, along with Jesus Burgers. Let's see, I probably should remember that name. Just folding in the background, and I guess some Sergeant Wolf listening in from the outside. Let's see. Though, let's see, Kuzan goes like, "Well, to be honest," just see, having his hands covering his head, moving his glasses a little bit, saying, "I thought I killed him, but he ended up alive instead." As we see Garp in chains, showing that he's still alive. But Blackbeard goes, "It's a hell of a feat, Kuzan. Who else could possibly take him down?" But he tries to go on, "It took all of us together, and we barely just managed." But, yeah. With, let's see, Jesus Burgers goes like, "The winds are in our favor now," laughing afterwards. And Blackbeard saying, "And we got the 3-eyed girl on top of that," as he see Blackbeard just grabbing Pudding and telling the others to, hey, patch me into Lefty, as we just see Pudding being uncomfortable with like being held hostage by Blackbeard there, being his prisoner, if you will. As we then head to like the headquarters of the Umit Shipping Company, as he then answers to like Blackbeard's call, saying, with him asking what the revolutionaries up to, and you've got Larity Lafitte. Larity explained that they seem to be quite serious about attacking the provisions, and the gondolas at the Red Port continue to break down. Sort of explaining how those things to help the people climb up to travel up to like the sacred land. As he explains, they don't seem to work at all when they actually have food on board, as you see them being exploded in some sort of flashbacks. And saying it's bad enough that food shipments have been cut off from the many countries, showing a map of Maridra Navy HQ. And even when the Navy secures a route, the gondolas crash. So it's like, no matter what happens... so no matter what happens, the Revolutionary Army destroys their supplies. With him saying that in the end, up with any of those celestial dragons actually starving, then they will be really living in unprecedented times, saying he loves it. With Blackbeard laughing, saying, "Yeah, ha ha, well, stop enjoying the show and get to preparing." As he goes like, "Ha ha," already on top of it. As we then see Candavish and Candavish's ship arriving, telling Pizarro that they're back, going like, "Yeah, it's Devon," saying to come pick us up, and going like, "Hey, what's up with you?" and refusing to pull the ship into harbor, going about how he's injured as he picks up the Blackbeard ship anyway, and you get Karibo going, "Wah! Oh, we're in trouble now, big trouble! A gigantic monstrosity has plucked us right off the white caps as I live and breathe. So, madam, do something, spare little old me from this dreadful fate." Completely panicking, if you will. But Devon says, "Oh, would you shut up already?" And saying as he goes on, "Is that the guy you brought?" And as you got hold on. Van August saying that, yep, that's correct. And there we go. And that ends the part of the Blackbeard Pirates bit. Anyway, I really love like this bit with the Blackbeard Pirates, and you get like all their interactions, particularly Blackbeard being the sort of like evil villain, mad at the subordinates, saying, you let them escape? But more specifically about, you let Kobe escape? And it's like, and you get Pizarro going like, Tech, I can explain. Please, let me explain. Don't hurt me and all that stuff. I do love how he just, Blackbeard's just like grabbing him by the mustache and it's like threatening him with a pistol, saying like, you fool! With the whole world now knowing about the polyglyphs and the One Piece and the significance of that treasure, let's see. Now it says like everyone's going after it. And let's see, not just the Emperors, the Navy will also be making their moves. And now, the one bargaining chip we had to take advantage of that, particularly towards the Navy, let's see, Kobe, you let him get away. So it is interesting how Blackbeard is also, besides using Kobe as a bargaining to try and become an official country, it seems like part of that plan was just to make sure that he becomes officially recognized, so that perhaps this would prevent the world government from causing him more problems in his operations on trying to find the One Piece, instead of perhaps trying to maybe infiltrate the Holy Land. So that might still be the case of what he wants to do long term. But yeah, I do like how Pizarro tries to explain, but to the fact of mentioning Moria escaping, it just further enrages Blackbeard. You let Moria escape! But it is interesting that we do have confirmation that Moria did end up escaping. So Perona and him end up escaping. And that leads me to wonder that, okay, now that they escape, and I think I might have talked about this before, although it's been a while since I looked at any of my old reviews, it's very likely that Moria is escaping and probably eventually going to end up joining the Cross Guild Alliance, which I think makes sense because they're a group of warlords. I think it was teased that in the serial chapter, at the very least, Crocodile, Buggy, Mihawk, Doflamingo, and Moria would probably all work under the banner of Cross Guild. Granted, we still have to wait and see how Doflamingo escapes, but at the very least, Moria is escaping, and now that it makes sense that he would join the Cross Guild because, well, like I said, warlords, and also I can see Crocodile and Hawkeye letting him in because, okay, if they're going to go for the One Piece, they'll need some more people that are useful, and Moria being able to summon a zombie army could be very useful, especially with like Marines that have been hunted and killed and brought to like Cross Guild, so he can make zombie armies out of them. I can definitely see that, so we might be seeing a zombie T-Bone soon. Zombie T-Bone! I'm very curious to see how Zoro reacts to that, at the very least. But anyway, Blackbeard's not too mad because his crew is all riled up, and it's like they're excited to do go after One Piece, so he's happy about that. But I do like how he seems to be completely happy when he learns that from Kuzan. It's like, you captured Grub. You captured Monkey D. Garp. That is a step up, and I would see a bit of a step up from Kobe and a much more better consolation prize. I do like how you got Bizarre saying, see, you got an upgrade, sir. No need to be mad. Trying to probably go and save a bit of face there. No, I do like how Kuzan is trying to be honest and saying that he tries trying to kill Garp. Granted, whether or not he was actually trying to kill Garp, or maybe he was trying to put on a facade to impress Blackbeard, but either way, let's see. He's also trying to be a bit humble, saying it took all of us just to beat him, and even then we barely managed to beat him. Which I believe he is being honest about that. Which some people might that might be wanting to favor Aokiji over Garp. I'm afraid you might be disappointed because I think that the fight did show that Garp had pretty much had advantage, and the Blackbeard Pirates pretty much had to cheat to take him down, even if Kuzan himself fought honestly. And it also goes to show more of an impressive feat that Garp in his old age. It just still took, even though he got beaten, it still took like the Blackbeard Pirates cheating, and even with like Kuzan backing him up, he still managed to give them a tough time. So it's like all that. But either way, you still got Blackbeard just praising Kuzan for this feat, and it's like Kuzan, you're my new favorite, which I'm curious to see what happens when Kuzan does actually betray Blackbeard, which I think isn't going to end up happening, but yeah. But I do like how Blackbeard's also seemingly just talking about Etsy. We also got Pudding here as a prize as well from the hunting and the attacking of like the other Emperor's crews and all that. So I do like that. Granted, Pudding's not happy in the situation, but I do wonder if this is like we'll see where this goes. But I do think this is going to lead to some setup with Luffy trying to Sanji trying to rescue Pudding. But we have to wait and see. Maybe this will get like the Big Mom Pirates or what's left of them teaming up with Luffy just to help save their sister. We'll have to wait and see there. But we finally actually also get to finally see what Laffite was doing, because he was the only member of the Blackbeard Pirates we did not see doing anything in the present day Egghead arc. We only saw him in a flashback where he was like made the foolish suggestion trying to steal Kuzan's devil fruit before then he retaliated and freezing them. But we end up learning he's been at Umet, shipping company's headquarters, one of the underworld brookers who designs all this supply stuff. Seemingly at the moment observing what the Revolutionary Army is doing of like blockading the world nobles food supply. And from what we can see, it's been quite effective as they seem to like to destroy attacking the provisions and destroying the Bondalas and the Red Port, breaking them down, preventing them, having them explode or not working whenever there's food on board. let's see, showing that they're very effective in like destroying the supplies, making sure that they know which ones have the supplies on and they destroy them, preventing the food, and even preventing cutting off shipments from arriving at Navy HQ. And let's see, and even when the Navy is able to secure these bundles routes, let's see, the ships, they still end up being destroyed. So it's like, even with the Navy's involvement, supplies are still not getting through. So yeah. At this point, the Celestial Dragons might actually end up starving because they're not getting any food, and he's just loving it because it's like how unnatural, how unprecedented this is. So yeah, but let's see. So yeah, the revolutionaries, let's see, sort of siege and guerrilla warfare is currently working, attacking their supplies. So that probably will mean that we will see the Guards Knights taking action very much soon. But yeah, but it's interesting that they are preparing to, let's see, Blackbeard is telling him not to enjoy the show and get ready to prepare something. And it seems to be on top of it. We have no idea what it is, but it could be that it's going to have Lafayette infiltrate Marijua again and maybe do some hypnosis or even do some spying to learn some stuff. But either way, Blackbeard is making his move, but yeah. Anyway, I do like how when you finally got Devon back and you just like her getting like Pizarro to pick them up, and it's like, just landed port. I'm injured, you know, but still, I love that Caribou is just completely panicking, and it's like Devon saying, "Oh, shut up," and it's like "Oh, this is the guy you brought," and Pizarro's going on it, and Etty Van Olga saying, "Yep." So yeah, pretty much you're gonna have him panicking just before meeting Blackbeard. But yeah, but pretty much we're now gonna see that Blackbeard's soon gonna learn about the locations of the ancient weapons, and Karipo's just probably about to become Blackbeard's new best friend. Anyway, we cut back to the Straw Hats, but this time in the giant warrior pirates. But 2 days have passed since they left Egghead, and even on the giant pirate ship, the Great Eric, they have yet to reach Elbaf. But currently, we don't see the Thousand Sunny. We see a bunch of giant fishes, and you get Dougie and Brogy panicking, saying how this could happen, and going like how we drank ourselves in into a stupor, into a stupor, woke up to find the Sunny is gone. We can't find it. You see Brock panicking as well. As the narration goes, like they have yet to reach Elbaf for a very particular reason, and that's pretty much, let's see, some of the Thousand Sunny is missing. And pretty much, let's see, Luffy, Zoro, Nami, Usopp, Sanji, and Chopper are gone missing. As you see, Brock, let's see, Jinbei and Frankie and Bonnie and Lilith still on the ship, on the giant ship. As you got saying, one of them saying, "We gotta get the ship. We gotta get that ship. We can't go back to Elbaf without it." Robin does one of his classic, "I wonder if they got chomped to bits by a fish." Frankie saying, "It's not funny this time. You've seen how big they are around here." With them shouting, "Where did you go, Luffy?" And then the chapter ends with someone saying, "Nami, hey, wake up." She rubs her eyes and then realizes, like, "Ooh, I think I've had a hangover," and then goes like, "Huh?" Changing to clothes of a Viking outfit and seemingly in a Lego area, ending the chapter as we see that ends on a cliffhanger as Nami is woken in a new mysterious place, ending the chapter. Okay, on a sec, got a bit of a stuffy nose. First of all, I do like how let's see, we get a narration saying it's been 2 days since like the last seen the Straw Hats, and let's see, when we end up getting explanation, which is a bit, and we end up getting explanation that the reason they haven't arrived at Elbaf is that Luffy, the East Blue 5 of the Straw Hats plus Chopper, so the Alabaster group, if you will, has gone missing. Everyone is panicking. They got drank so much from the partying. They've woke up and now they've gone. And also the Sunny's gone. And they're trying to find them because, well, pretty much they will lose face if they show up without them there. And I do love you got a little bit of a Brock panicking on one page. You got Bonnie holding on Jimbei like a child would hold on to like their father or a guardian or like an adult they trust, if you will. While they're just listening into what's going on. I'd love that you got Robin doing her classic. Oh, I wonder if they've been something very saying. I wonder if something like this horrible happening, particularly like a giant fish being eating them, has happened and they're all dead. And you got Frankie going like, "This is not fine. This is not funny for someone thinking something like this, especially when with a fish this big, it could actually end up happening." So yeah, you got pretty much happen. You got pretty much got them happening. You got them panicking, but yeah. But I do like the fact that you got this group now split up with the original East Blue 5, which normally this is Oda's classic separate the crews so they get some character focus and like their own subplots. But this is the first time I think since the time skip where the original 5 and Chopper have separated, and now you've got like the later editions like Robin, Frankie, Brooke, and Jimbei, and possibly Bonnie all in the group together as well. Doing that, so you got probably a city, so it's probably emphasizing that Elbaf at the very least will have quite a big character focus on the original East Blue 5 since they were the ones that were tied to the Giants most. So you're probably going to get a lot of character development for them here and maybe character focus here. Particularly on Usopp. But with Chopper also missing from their group, that also probably implies that this is probably also setting up for these Straw Hats, the ones that are personally knew and met Vivi when she was on Straw Hat for a time. Means that we're probably going to get that Vivi Straw Hat reunion with the Alabaster group, and we're going to have some touching reunions. And hopefully that also means some character stuff for Chopper as well. But granted, it also probably hopefully means some character stuff with like Robin's group, as you got the later Straw Hats doing their own thing. So that probably means that you're going to have Robin and this lot end up meeting Jaguar D Soul probably, because that's been set up with like Soul's alive. Robin wants to go see him. So you're probably going to have that subplot where you're going to have these characters interacting and let's see, pretty much let's see, Luffy, let's see. So pretty much you've got at least two subplots that you can see happening with like Luffy's group, the Alabaster group, probably meeting Vivi at some point in this arc, and Robin's group arguably meeting Soul at some point in this arc. So yeah, you got that set up, and it's going to be quite interesting to see how it goes. And arguably fairly balanced, as let's see, you got the Monster Trio with like Luffy being the Emperor, and let's see the Weakling Trio together, while you got like the more medium members as well as Jimbei and Robin, the two strongest members beneath the Monster Trio, as well as the Giants, or let's see, the Giant Warrior Pirates. Let's see, separated in like that. So while probably Luffy's group might be slightly stronger, you still got a strong group with like Robin's group. So yeah, which you're probably going to need that in terms of strength, especially on the island of Elbaf. Anyway, let's see, Nami waking up. Let's see, it's fascinating to see that she actually has a hangover, because like it just goes to show just how powerful the green fairy alcohol is, because Nami I think has one of the two highest tolerance of alcohol amongst the crew, along with her and Zoro. But interestingly, she's been dressed in Viking clothes, which I will admit I do like the design. Now granted, I will admit you probably got Nami's top being a bit more revealing in the sort of manner that Boa Hancock's is. Though granted, it seems Oda's gone back to that classic, more of a look, let's see, fan surface on the top, rather than the butts that and panty shots that he was doing on Egghead after someone said, "Hey, can you do this more often?" And he said like, "Oh, I bet you can't do this more often." And he says, "Oh, I can do this." So yeah, it seems that Oda's gone back to the classic sexy look that he normally does for Nami at the very least. But nevertheless, I do like the Viking get up, like the fuzzy bit on the back, the fuzzy like I've forgotten how to describe it. Like the fuzzy coat at the back, the Viking legs. She's got a sword. It's like and she's in like a Lego building set, which means that she's probably in some sort of like kids Lego set or maybe something like that. But who knows? But you definitely got like a lot of people speculating that she's been been attacked by maybe like the man with the straw hats have been attacked by the man with burnt scars. They got say possibly by someone like Loki, and this might be setting up a Nami and Loki romance subplot that might have been teased at Elbaf when he talked about following when Loki was like in love with like a Lola, but she turned him down to find her own person to marry, and not like her mother's big mom. But yeah, either way, it seems to be pretty much the cliffhanger applies. That will be. I have read the next chapter, and that the next focus will be on Nami when it comes to Straw Hats before possibly reuniting with like the rest of the members of the East Blue group plus Chopper. But yeah, overall, I think this is a very good chapter for the first one of the Elbaf Arc, which I assume is going to at least go up to at least 75 chapters at least, possibly to reach the 1,200 mark, but who knows? We'll have to wait and see. We got the explanation of like, okay, let's see, Doggy and Brookie, why they came back. Let's see, why they came back to Elbaf, why they get and they needed to just get new weapons, and also how they ended up coming to rescue Luffy and the others. Nami's reaction to that, and as well as Luffy and Usopp defending. You've seen the Straw Hats celebrate Bonnie having a touching moment with her father. We see Bartolomeo's dedication to Luffy, Shanks teaching retribution to Bartolomeo, with Yasop showing a bit of a feat, arguably setting up the conflict between Shanks and Luffy. Blackbeard getting mad at Kobe escaping, as well as Moria. Is also setting up like Moria possibly joining the Cross Guilds, but also being satisfied that Blackbeard, that they've gotten Garp as a constellation prize. I also like the little interactions that the crew just like chatting and talking to each other, as well as Sanji and Wolfram just being too much of a klutz when trying to help. The crew excited, and also we learn where Lafferty is with Umit's shipping company, seemingly preparing something for Blackbeard's next move, while monitoring the Revolutionary Army's continued success of stopping the supplies to the Celestial Dragons, as well as Karibo finally being taken to Blackbeard at last, as well as the Straw Hats being separated, and the mystery between Nami's Lego outfit, which I am curious to see. If she's going to be, if we're going to learn who dressed her in that Viking getup and how she's going to react. Because if it's a male, I do not think she's going to take it well. And given how angry she ends up getting when she thought Sanji was did something when she realized that the coat was swapped when they switched bodies, if you will, as she did pummel him to pieces. And also the mystery of this giant Lego building set. So yeah, which from my understanding, Lego was built in the same country, was created in the same country that Norway, where Vikings originally came from. Or was it Denmark? But either way in the Nordic countries. But I don't know. I need to look up that later. Apologies for any offense, but yeah, overall great chapter. I'll give it like a 9 to 9.5 out of 10. Great setup. Let's see, with like the Redhead Pirates, the Blackbeard Pirates, and Straw Hat's adventures on Elbaf. So yeah, so overall very good chapter. For those who end up listening, I hope you enjoyed what I had to say. But for now, I am Blue Star Saber signing off. See you next time. Goodbye for now.